Good afternoon and welcome back. Appreciate you tuning in for some of the latest updates here around the district. And certainly today want to start off with the school board making the announcement last night that Mrs. Kim Hyatt will be our new superintendent come January 1. And when she arrived at North Adams many years ago, she was Ms. Harsh, and now, of course, she's Mrs. Hyatt, and just has been an outstanding principal at the high school. And I wish her the best and offer my support and my assistance as she will begin to learn the day-to-day of being a superintendent. I'm excited, known Kim, and she has the skills and the talent to do the job, and look forward to watching her grow into this position as the rest of this year plays out. I'm still around for a while though, until I finish out through the end of this calendar year, but the future of the district looks bright with the decision the board has made, and you should all be pleased with that. Also, let me talk a little bit back. You talk about the changes again. Things are very different this week than they were last week. As everybody knows, we had to fall back to the e-learning platform for everybody, and that is certainly not a decision that we take lightly. And I want to talk a little bit about how that all came to be and what that looks like. And I know there were some questions and there were people that didn't like the way the decision was made. I get all that. I know a team of administrators who wrestled through this since late last week, when county numbers started to grow and some of that started to impact our district. We continued to watch the numbers, continued to monitor the positive cases, and we did that Thursday and Friday. We still felt like things were manageable, and we were able to continue with school, but we tried to be proactive. Not knowing what all we would learn over the weekend, we did tell the students, you make sure you take your laptops and your iPads home. We're sending them home every day, but some days students forget them. So we made an extra effort to tell students to make sure they had those because we didn't know what the weekend would bring. So for those of you that say we told the students on Friday already that we weren't going to be in school on Monday, that was not the case. We did want to make sure they had their materials. So Friday talked well into the evening with administrators and monitoring the data. Saturday we had some additional data and we talked through that. And there was then additional data that we received Sunday morning, Sunday right before lunch, of another positive that was going to impact another large segment of people. And it's a little harder to pull everybody together on Sunday, but the admin team, we gathered Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock on a virtual meeting and talked through the numbers and talked through the data. And when it was all said and done, we decided we're going to have to go to e-learning. And that's how it went. That's how the process played out. I want to thank the admin team for spending their weekend trying to work through that. We know that created hardships for many families. We understand that. And that was also discussed in our whole process. So for the agony we created, I certainly apologize, but I do believe it was the right decision going forward. Some of you have said, well, what does that mean then for school after we get back from fall break? I have no idea. We will continue to monitor the data right through fall break, and those decisions will be made as the data plays itself out as we go forward. Um, so that's how all that came to be. Before I leave today, let me address one more thing, because there were some that said, well, if you're not going to have class on campus, why are you doing athletics? And you know what? That's a great question. And I too have always been one, you know what? If we're not in school, we're not going to do the athletic piece. But again, we have said we're going to look at the data, we're going to look at all the circumstances. And there certainly was a piece to this, because now we have teams who are in the tournaments. You can't just say, we'll reschedule this. And we have two cross-country teams and a soccer team playing in the regional. We have a volleyball team playing in the sectional. And that was certainly part of the conversation. But then we went back to the data. Who are the students who are quarantined? Who are the staff members who are quarantined? Where are the positive cases? And is there any room to allow our athletes to still participate? When we reviewed the data, we didn't have any of our athletes part of the COVID quarantining. Those students have been doing a great job all season to protect themselves and to do their best to stay out of that. And so we talked about, we certainly don't want people coming to our campus. And that's when we decided that for athletics, if it can be played on an away event, we're going to be okay with that. But we are not having any home events. But it would be up to the other schools if we would travel to see to play at their location. So again, like every other decision that we've tried to make this year, was that the right one? I can't tell you absolutely it was. What I can tell you is we talked long and hard and tried to look at what was in front of us and make the decision based on that. And that's how we came up with that decision to do what we've done with athletics. So as we move forward, we have postponed the start of our winter practice season. We don't know what athletics looks like next week. We don't know what school looks like the following week. That's all yet to be determined. And again, our administrative team will come together and talk about all of the pieces and then try to provide the information as timely as possible. But please remember, we don't always get the timeliness. When the data arrives, it arrives. We have now had two situations where we tried to start school and had to close the day before we started, and now we've had to shut down with less than a day's notice because of the data that arrived that day. That's not going to change. That's going to continue going forward. So remain flexible. Have those backup plans for your own family, just like we have backup plans here at school. And we'll continue to walk down this road together and continue to make the best decisions we can with the data and the information we have in front of us. So thanks again for listening in, and appreciate you stopping by.